Welcome back. It's a brand new season of CGL.
This is just an absolute treat. These players are so damn good.
The talent on these teams is undeniable. Everybody on every team right now is making plays.
It's going to be an exciting start to the season, and it'll just get better from here on out.
We're about to step to a whole new era of Overwatch esports. So much exciting action is happening here on CGL that you do not want to miss.
Yep. What a nice roll through from Peyton. It's just gonna solidify everything for Mythos.
Does come back, and Arsario gets the mech, but I don't need a mech. I'll kill 4 anyway.
This is just a highlight reel for Arsario right now.
They're making a statement in the EU Masters here.
This patch is still incredibly fresh. There's so much to learn, so much to change about the way we play the game.
SKC, but the shatter is colossal.
Let's get it going.
Trades keep coming through. Lores, you're gonna be able to find these shots true.
Idu on the overclock with 2.
Here comes an athlete, immediately goes back to fine skills, slicing and dicing their way through 2-3, so back and forth.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to week 7 here of season 16 of CGL. We've got a matchup here in our NA open tier. It is the Zodiacs versus YE Snowfall. 2 of these strong teams in this tier. Shadow, you ready for this matchup?
I am. I hope we get to see some really close, hotly contested gameplay. 2 teams that are near the top of this tier, I would have to imagine at the very least. And neither... Wait a minute. I do believe one of them has taken a loss so far. Boop Troop.
Yeah.
But outside of that, not too much to speak of in that loss column for maps or games overall. So 2 very, very top tier teams.
Yeah, and to be clear, that matchup in week 1 that YE Snowfall took as a loss was a forfeit. So, you know, I'm not gonna speak too much about that loss because we don't know what could have happened or would have happened all the way back in week 1. That was 2 months ago, right? Yeah. So different world we were living in back then, but we are in the now October 23rd. We're coming up very close to Halloween, which is a lot of fun coming up here very, very soon. I'm excited for that. But you know what else I'm excited for, Shadow? I'm excited for this series. So let's talk about, you know, where we're getting it started on. It's going to be Lijiang Tower. Not really too much of a surprise. Well, I'm sure that's just where we start this week, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna you know what? I'm not gonna complain about it this time. But just know, come playoff time, I will be making my voice heard. Lijiang Tower is overrated.
No, best control map in the game still, at least in my opinion. Love this map. I'm never upset to see Lijiang Tower. Especially in the meta we're sitting in right now. I feel like it lets you err more towards that Lucio as opposed to the Wu Yang we've been seeing so much of.
Yeah, I would be lying to you if I said that I knew where we were right now in, you know, like the whole deep meta, right? But it is I'm looking forward to seeing what these 2 top level teams are going to run it down on. Next up, we do have our bans, however. Of course, this is a map 1 ban, so, you know, it's not like the teams are targeting. And, you know, they very well could be. I don't have the insider knowledge that these teams fully know what each other. I mean, there's always that really good chance that these 2 teams have scrimmed each other, have done, you know, a lot of stuff, you know, inter squad. So they could have the knowledge that's more likely up here in these you know, higher tiers. But you know, it is a map 1 ban, so, you know, it could be, you know, just somebody going towards something they don't want to play against, or, you know, something that is particularly meta. We get down to the end of this wire. The Zodiacs will be banning Quebenwork? Sojourn. That's fair.
Yeah, it feels a little early for a Sojourn, but hey, I mean, this is definitely a map you would see Sojourn on. As opposed to maybe later maps, you might see the Ash, you might see the Cass. It's not a hard Sojourn meta, so I do kind of like that pick here. This is a map you're guaranteed to see it on, so to get rid of it is really good play here. And then if you're YE Snowfall, you have a lot of options here, quite honestly. I saw a Wrecking Ball ban yesterday on this map. Ball's very, very strong. If you don't necessarily want to see that, that's a viable option. You can get rid of Lucio, Wu Yang, Kiriko. Any one of those three, I think, is a good option as well. Diva. You got a lot of choices here. It's really just a matter of what do you not want to see, essentially, when we're talking about Map 1 bans.
Well, we will learn, see what we're going to not see, I guess, in this map.
Yeah.
It's going to be Hazard. And again, fair enough. You know, Hazard has been very, very prevalent for the last 6 months, you know, along with all of those, you know, prevalent dive heroes like the Diva, like the Winston, like all those good stuff. So it's going to be a Hazard Sojourn ban. And, you know, I think that this is the first time in a while that I can say that both of the bans on map number 1 are impactful. You know, I guess I haven't spent a whole lot of time up in the open tiers though, so I guess I just haven't gotten to see the teams that, you know what pressure points to target. And speaking of the teams, get a look at our lineups. First up is going to be the Zodiacs. It's going to be Raz and Sterling on the DPS, Dexter on that tank role, and Ebullient and Zexo2K in that backline. I mean, the Zodiacs have been absolutely dominant this season, right? They had a bye last week, but before that, only dropping one map through the first 5 weeks, and that was in week 4 to Primordius Rising. This team is so strong, but you look to the other side, YE Snowfall, they're just as strong.
Oh, they absolutely are. And I mean, just to go on to YE Snowfall's lineup, we're gonna be having Raven and XLFC on that DPS line. Heavenly gonna be running that tank, with Solana and Paradox on that support line. And I can't help but notice Raven having that Sojourn on there. And that does lead me to believe that might have something to do with that ban we just saw. Want to get rid of that really strong hit scan if you're more favoring that Reaper-based composition, because we have been seeing a lot of Reaper lately too.
All right, everybody. Map number 1 on the horizon. It is Li Zhang Tower. We headed in there in just a few moments. I'm excited to see these two teams go head to head, man. I mean, you don't get to see a matchup like this very often, right? You don't. Two teams who, in the games that they have played, have not lost yet, right? They're undefeated in games that they've played. You know, obviously, YE Snowfall is showing that loss on their record for a game that they did not get to play. But regardless, we head in here. It's going to be the Reaper Mauga versus the Tracer Zarya compositions here.
Yeah, and then we're seeing the Ashe come out from Raven as well. No Sojourn available. I think that is actually going to hurt quite a bit, because Sojourn would definitely do a lot more against a Mauga than Ashe does. It's just like that prolonged shooting that you have to do with Ashe gives the Gearcomb more time to
just play
heal
Soldier
up.
76.
Right? Yeah, just run the Soldier instead. Just fire off those shots continuously. This should be an interesting matchup, though. I'm curious to see how the first engagement's going to go.
All right, here we go. Sterling tried to find someone in the back line, but nobody quite there yet. Now engaging onto XLFC, but Zexo2K puts a kunai square in the skull of XLFC. The Zodiacs off to a good start. Raven trying to take the off angle, but now they know where this Ashe is. They'll look to rotate around this bridge side. Dexter, no bubbles as this fight continues, but that is a boop off the map. Heavenly denies the kill from the Lucio, but still the fight will firmly be in the hands of the Zodiacs.
Oh, that's the tough part about trying to cross that bridge when there's a Lucio on the other side. There's always that danger of getting shot off. Raz taking down Paradox, though, does stall this out a little bit longer, so that is a little unfortunate for Snowfall.
All right, let's go. Back in here. XLFC gonna TP into the backline. Called out as Raz turns to look into the mirror, but Paradox is dead again, unfortunately. There is some pressure being put on to the objective there by Raven. as they try to pinch this team, but no pressure is being put onto them as they cross that 50% mark.
I mean, great use of the Kitsune Rush by the Zodiacs right there. You managed to build up to both your DPS ultimates. Dexter getting close on this grab as well, and Sterling just dominant in that Tracer duel, and Paradox going down again.
Yeah, I mean, this time not even really a fight to be heard of, and Heavenly gonna drop the Graviton Surge.
That was certainly a decision that was made right there. I like Sterling sitting back here in this back line, just being oh so patient with this Pulse Bomb.
Paradox found them, and very lucky to get away from that Pulse Bomb after the recall. Now Sterling able to escape with the help of that bubble from Dexter, but finally caught by Heavenly. And we're gonna see the Graviton Surge come out from the other side. Paradox kind of been getting focused down, so no sound barrier to deny that grab. And now with this Kitsune Rush into the face of these stragglers, the Zodiacs will take it uncontested.
Ooh, 100-0 in very dominant fashion. Once those ultimates got rolling from the Zodiacs, Snowfall just could not recover at any point. There was just that continuous pressure was just being laid upon them, and their ult economy just never really caught up in the same way. It was just incredibly unfortunate, honestly, but I mean, you can see it right here in the elims. The elims really aren't that high. It was just like that one pick was coming through onto, you know, there was Paradox, or maybe Raven or XLFC was losing in the ones. You know, just a random kill over and over again was just causing that fight to be prolonged.
All right. Into the control center. XLFC still manning that Reaper. Both these teams still in a perfect mirror. Trying to play it safe around the corners is YE Snowfall right now, as XLFC chunks down the opposition's Reaper. Raz very low, getting that healing, but XLFC just burned down by Dexter, who is at 100 charge at all times.
I mean, that's just disgusting work right there. Touch the spawn door challenge. Raz did indeed touch the spawn door and had the bubble available to them as well. Still no ultimates built up yet, though, so we're going to have another dry fight here for this next engagement.
Raven already forced to use the recall so early, and Heavenly is dead again. Just no opportunities being afforded to YE Snowfall right now. It's suffocating.
It really is. It feels like the Zodiacs just have full knowledge of exactly what they need to be doing with this comp. That was almost another spawn kill, but luckily Raven does make it out. Pulse bombs available for both sides, as well as a Kitsune Rush available for the side of Zodiacs.
I mean, Heavenly is already so damn low again, and yeah, I mean, you talk about dominance. You look where the perks are already at for this Zodiac squad. They're halfway through the second round. They're all on tier 3.
Oh yeah, it's been an absolute wash so far. Heavenly going over to the Roadhog. That's when you're just looking for answers at that point. The pulse bomb goes out, does go awry.
The Reaper forced to wraith out a good bubble there. Sound barrier to deny the Graviton Surge, but this Death Blossom, I mean, it's just doing so much supplemental damage, and goodbye Raz. Won't matter though, as I mean, still the Zodiacs control everything about this game.
They do. They have a Kitsune Rush online here too. Snowfall has one available, as well as this Death Blossom of XLFC, and that's going to have to be the win condition here, that Death Blossom.
Here are both Kitsune Rushes meeting each other on the point. Zexo getting focused down, but there's the Death Blossom into the blender, finally plugging it in there for XLFC, helping to take down a fourth as well. And it won't be a sweep here on the control center.
Zodiac's getting a little bit silly there. Raz falling off the map, and it does end up resulting in a fight win for the side of Snowfall, but this is nowhere near over with yet. And you see the Malga come out from the Zodiacs, and that is like the last thing you want to see if you're on Roadhog.
Alright, well, these Tracers going at it again in the back line. Raven trying to take care of Sterling, who doesn't have a recall just yet, but doesn't really matter if Sterling doesn't have to do any of the fighting. Everybody else is getting pick after pick after pick, and that's just the map. Bust it down, Sterling. Objective secured, map locked up. The Zodiacs absolutely rip through Lijiang Tower.
I mean, they really did right there. That was one of the more dominant maps I've seen this season, quite honestly. It wasn't particularly close. I mean, the only fight that was lost was the Zodiacs just kind of playing around a little bit there, touching the spawn doors. Outside of that, though, every time they took a fight incredibly seriously, they seemed to just have the better target prioritization. They were catching out supports left, right, and center, and their ult usage was just superior.
I mean, it doesn't help when you've got a guy like Dexter who's just at 100 charge at all times either. Like, everybody on this Zodiacs roster right now wasn't doing exactly what they needed to do. Sterling playing guard dog, keeping Raven off the backline. I mean, Raven could do absolutely nothing. Like you see right here in this clip. I mean, XLFC gets the job done there, but there's just, I mean, they're playing around each other so beautifully. Dexter throwing out these bubbles exactly pinpoint where they need to go every single time. I mean, the Zodiacs, they had that map on lock, but now, looking forward, I mean, YE Snowfall, they have their map selection now. So
yeah, they do.
I'm curious. This is going to have to be a big bounce back here, Shadow.
I mean, honestly, I think you just run it down Gibraltar. Just get us off of the composition that we just played, and let's go to something completely different. And I mean, you could play the Zarya comp. You can play whatever comp you want to on whatever map, but I don't think the Zarya comp's gonna be quite as easy to run on a map like Watchpoint Gibraltar, and that's gonna allow Raven to potentially go back over to that hit scan instead of having to play the Reaper or the Tracer like we were seeing on this last map. So I definitely think Gibraltar's got to be the pick here.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad shout. I need to look at the map pool because I'm bad at my job apparently. Okay, never mind. I'll just eat it. Yeah, I think that something does absolutely have to change. I agree with you. Obviously, I don't know the map pool off the top of my head, and I might be a little bit stupid in the way that. Oh wait, there it is. Never mind. You could
go with
Mr.
something like
Headrammer.
a Midtown, a Numbani, like that could potentially work in the same sort of vein if you wanted to do that. I just think Gibraltar is the map that you pretty much have to run something like a dive comp on it.
Week 7 is Lijiang Tower, but okay. I can mold Hollywood. Hollywood's probably not a bad shout if you want to go away from the rush compositions. Not really a good push map for that, nor is there a good flashpoint map. Watchpoint Gibraltar, maybe Route 66. But other than that, it's just it's kind of chopped. It's kind of chopped right now for dive compositions. But it does look like we have our selection. It's going to go to the hybrid map that I said, they might be the most likely to choose.
Yeah.
It's going to be Hollywood here for map number 2. And now we head over to the ban phase. Shadow, what are you thinking for Snowfall's ban?
This is tough. You have a couple of options here. You could go Reaper. You could go Lucio. You could go Kiriko. I think any one of those 3 picks is certainly a good one here. Outside of that, maybe you could go Ashe as well. But I didn't think the Zarya was going to come out here. I got to be honest. I didn't think this was the map you took the Zarya. But, I mean, fair enough.
I mean, yeah, the Zarya was a problem on map number 1, but I agree with you. I think that the Zarya ban is maybe jumping the gun a little bit. I feel like if you're gonna run something that can do something against the Zarya, it would be here, right? You've got your Hazard. Well, I guess they banned Hazard map 1, so they probably wouldn't have gone to the Hazard anyway. But you know, you've got your Winston, you've got your Diva, you've got Wrecking Ball if you want to do that. But yeah, I think that was a little bit preemptive. And especially if they win this map and, you know, they bring the Zarya back out later on a map that's stronger for her, it's going to be very, very difficult to see what the Zodiacs are holding here. But now we're going to get a look at their ban, and it's going to be the Ashe, which, yeah, I don't hate. I think there's a lot of really strong high ground that Ashe can control and just nix it.
It makes total sense. Like, so far, it just feels like they're trying to shut out Raven. They're just like, all right, we're going to take away the best hit scan you can play on this particular map, right? I wouldn't be shocked if we got the Flashpoint and they banned Cass. Like, you know, like, it just seems like that's the timing that the Zodiacs seem to be on right now.
We are waiting for something now. Just a quick XLFC restart. Guess the game was a little bit goofy for a moment, so we're waiting for XLFC to hit the lobby back. But yeah, I don't hate either. Well, I don't hate the Ashe ban. I don't love the Zarya ban. I guess we'll have to see, right? Like, I understand the Zarya ban. That's why I said I don't like. It's like, that's why I didn't say that I despise the Zarya ban from the heart, bottom of my heart. Right. I don't love it, but I understand it. As a Zarya, fan myself, she's very annoying to deal with, especially when, Dexter is placing bubbles with extreme precision.
I just think you could have saved that for Flashpoint.
No, I agree.
Or a map, or just like one of those maps. And then if you banned a DPS, you could have saved your Ashe at the same time. So that was another thing, I guess, to consider. Because now you're stuck most likely playing Sojourn, which, again, I don't think it's necessarily a bad pick. I just like Ashe more on Hollywood, personally. But that does mean you have it available to you in the future maps, at the very least. And Ashe is also, I would say, pretty good on any of the escort maps that we have available.
I mean, well, the hit scans specifically between the Ashe and the Sojourn, they're pretty interchangeable for the most part, it feels like. I do tend to agree that, Ashe is a little bit better on some of these other maps, or at least a little bit more consistent. I don't even know if I want to say better, because Sojourn is Sojourn, right?
Right.
She's been dominant in Overwatch 2 since she came out. There's a reason that she's still being played to this day. But no Ashe to speak of here on Hollywood, as XLFC has rejoined the lobby. We'll be headed into Hollywood here very, very soon.
I am curious to see if we're going to see like a Winston versus Diva, or if the side of the Zodiacs are just going to continue to play those more brawly style comps. Because we saw them play nothing but Mauga and Zarya on map number 1. So I suppose there is potential for them to run the Mauga. We can see the Mauga just dashing across the map. But no, we're going to be seeing the Hazard. Hazard going to be going into the Roadhog. I do like this, actually, because I feel like the hook of Roadhog, if you're going to play Roadhog into another tank, Hazard's probably a good one, because you can at least deny that block.
I doubt the Roadhog leaves spawn, if I'm being honest with you. But yeah, the Zodiacs, very, very conventional. I'm interested by the Ana. I feel like Ana's a support you don't see a whole lot of. But I guess we'll see if I'm wrong. I guess the Roadhog does look to be leaving spawn, maybe? No. Okay. Didn't think so. Well, Heavenly, stop playing with my heart.
No, Fletch, we're seeing an unironic Roadhog. The unironic Roadhog is here.
Okay, fair enough. Here we go. Map number 2, Hollywood is up. Raz on that Freya, trying to put these bolts to good use. Sturley looking for XLFC, this time on the Tracer. Forced to use the recall, but putting some really, really good pressure onto that Wu Young, turning their attention to Sturley, who is on the front side of the point. Map has completely flipped here. Heavenly did get antied, but cleansed up, and XLFC in the backline taking down Raz. A second for XLFC, showing that this guy is the Tracer player for this roster. Raven getting rid of Sterling, but no health pack. It is trade after trade after trade. Heavenly trying to throw in this take a breather. Needing so much help, this mega health pack coming back. Nice poke. Can they get rid of Dexter? Answer's no.
Very close, though. This Roadhog is actually putting in a significant amount of damage right now.
Oh, nice hook. Dexter cannot look all ways at the same time, unfortunately, but Heavenly antied up. 2 for 2 trade, though. XLFC goes down in the back line. You see this Kiriko Paradox doing, Kiriko things. Raven sliding up to the high ground, does get taken down by the Violent Leap. Downpour, ready to go for Dexter, needing to play it safe. And will live, still no ticks.
Great defense here so far. Dexter being just an absolute kind of nuisance on this hazard, just being all over the place. XLFC getting that pulse bomb off, though, is huge.
And that downpour is just going to completely whiff. Nano boost on to this hazard. They do lose Solana, but numbers favor YE Snowfall in this engagement. That pulse bomb by XLFC proving to be so impactful. Raven comes through with the rail shot, helping to clean up Sterling, and looks like YE Snowfall right back in form.
Yeah, it was really, when you didn't get much value out of the Nano and the downpour, that was kind of the moment that you weren't going to be able to cap that point. As Dexter goes down once again. That just happened. Well, it landed apparently. So
sure,
take
I guess.
that. Take that, Tracer.
Oh, okay, well, Heavenly might be in kind of a silly spot. Zexo 2K gets hooked, stays alive, healing, Sterling coming to help. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Ooh, nice little clip there.
Yeah, gross plays coming through from the Tracers of both sides, honestly. And Zexo taking down Raven as well here. I mean, this Zodiacs team is going to be hard to dislodge from this high ground, especially with you having a Roadhog. This is going to be the point that I think is going to be incredibly hard to get through, unless that happens. Unless things like that happen.
Good night, Sterling, sweet prince. Solana does go down. You see the pressure being put onto this Wu Young, and Ebullient will not be able to slide away forever. Heavenly getting the cleanse. Not antied, but they will finally break this high ground hold.
They do indeed, and not having to burn really any ultimates to do it either. That's the huge part, and nice hook coming through again from Heavenly. Doing a really good job on this Roadhog.
We're going to see the Tidal Blast in here from Ebullient. Hook onto Dexter, 30 HP into Dream, but Raven from the objective, able to put an end to the Dream. Heavenly going to drop down. Now turning back. Oh my god! It's not fair!
Roadhog shenanigans are going to Roadhog, but those 2 kills could actually be incredibly impactful with Paradox and Raven going down.
Yeah, absolutely brutal. XLFC able to drop Raz, now going up to the high ground. Pulse bomb is out. Ebullient under pressure, taken down. XLFC! Tracer extraordinaire! Absolutely ripping this backline to shreds.
This tracking from XLFC has been crazy so far, and that is just gross, disgusting things. We need to check the PC.
Oh goodness, Dexter. Oh goodness. Looking good, Ebullient able to avoid it that time. But it does look like this objective will be captured. There will be a touch from Sterling, but a headshot to Raz knocks off the high ground control. Kitsune rush into the nano boost. Sterling goes down. Raven is traded. Numbers still in the favor of YE Snowfall until the end of Solana there. Can they clean this up? Cap the point with 75 seconds left.
Ooh.
Answer's no. Paradox just gets chopped in half.
That was absolutely gross right there. Great plays from the Zodiacs to retake, and now we're down to 1 minute just like that. Feels like Snowfall has been pretty dominant with their attack, but we're at a minute left on the clock, and Zodiacs have an insane ultimate advantage right now.
All right, well, it's going to be up to XLFC to pull something off again with this Pulse Bomb. Goes down before the Pulse Bomb can be let loose. You need to back down. You have time if you just play it safe.
You cannot let anybody else die here, but that is also the positive side of that.
Yeah, that's exactly what you needed. Looking towards this Lucio, Solana does end up going down. Dexter, 50 HP, falls. The trade is beautiful. Continues to trade. Heavenly goes up to the high ground, now looking towards this Ana. Zexo 2K all alone. Not where you want to be. Ebullient has to slide away. Can they stay alive? For now, the answer is yes, but Sturley going down is going to make this brutal. We're going to see the Malga come out, overrun, Pulse Bomb out, Pulse Bomb connects, Pulse Bomb kills. Paradox puts an end to Zexo 2K. Raz, last man standing, just has to watch as the payload rolls through Objective B.
If you're the Zodiacs, the big positive here, though, is that you burnt down that whole clock, essentially. So now you're looking at a minute and a half to try and you just hold Snowfall for basically 2 fights. And we are seeing the Orisa come out right now, so not the Malga anymore, but the Orisa. A lot of things that can really deny what Roadhog is trying to do here for the side of the Zodiacs.
And Dexter, I mean, just being put under so much pressure. Bola shots ready to go. But another cross-map hook from Heavenly. This time will not be able to land the one-shot combo. Sturley in the backline goes down. Hook didn't connect. Doesn't matter in the end. Spear spin invested here very, very early, and there is the spear itself. Ebullient able to live, but not for long. Pulse Bomb now ready to go for XLFC. There is the Pulse Bomb thrown. Doesn't find a connection, but everybody is distracted looking at XLFC. And now it's just Raz left. They need a touch. Malga overrun to try and get out again. They're going to pull Dexter onto the point. I don't think it would have mattered because Sturley was there, but now the overclock ready to go, trying to take care of this. Malga Heavenly under so much duress by the chain guns, but not a sweat broken by the Roadhog. Heavenly falls. Now we're going to see the nano boost on it to Raz, who's on the Sojourn now. Does slide away, trying to keep it going, but cannot. Taken down by a headshot from Paradox. And somehow, someway, YE Snowfall going to break this hold and get through the end of Hollywood.
I mean, one thing that is important to note here is that it does go into overtime. So, it does go all the way into overtime. So if the Zodiacs manage to cap this with a minute or more, not going to be an opportunity for YE Snowfall to do something. And I think if this Roadhog composition is going to be ran on defense, it's going to be harder. It's harder to try and run Roadhog defensively than it is to try and run Roadhog offensively. And so I think that this could potentially favor the Zodiacs on this attack, but I guess we will just have to wait and see.
And you know what? I think we're feeling the effects of the fact that Raven is allowed to play Sojourn now, because it allows XLFC to go over to the Tracer, and Heavenly is playing Roadhog. I can't really say much more than that because the hooks are incredible.
Yeah,
Roadhog doing Roadhog things, but now, like, this team, they're playing their comfortable heroes now, and we're seeing the difference, right? I mean, it wasn't exactly, dominant. And realistically, it kind of felt dominant.
It did.
But it was not, right? They don't have any time left. So now, as we head into this attack, it's going to be up to the Zodiacs here now on the Genji. See what they can do. Heavenly's hook will not connect, but XLFC's backhand will in the backline, just absolutely raising hell, able to get out, stay alive. And that'll do it for this first fight, really.
Yeah, I mean, XLSC just continuing to show this dominance that we've seen on this Tracer so far. if you're the Zodiacs, someone's gotta spot out this Tracer early and stop this, because this has been crazy.
Yeah, that was a good boot from a bully and saved the life of Surly there. But XLFC again, oh my god! Just keeping track of everything that this Zodiac squad is doing. Blinking into their backline, gonna grab that mega health back. And now this Kiri has to swift step away. Paradox does end up going down. Dexter throws down the wall defensively, stays alive, but Heavenly is going after it. They'll get rid of Heavenly, or Dexter rather.
Eventually does happen, and I mean, it's just really, honestly, a lot of this has just been XLFC. XLFC winning this 1v1 just repeatedly, and like I said, something has to be done about this Tracer. Like, you're getting outpaced by 50% on Pulse Bomb. That's insane.
Yeah. XLFC's. Here we go. Going in. Kitsune Rush ready to go for Zexo. Gonna throw it down from the front. The cleanse denies the downpour. Raven decapitates Raz. Ebullient shoved into a corner with this Kitsune Rush. An absolutely horrifying prospect. Nobody would love to be in that situation. Now Zexo receiving another swift hook headshot combo. 2 minutes on the clock, and Snowfall are unbreakable.
They're doing a really good job of just staggering those ults out too. All you see is the Kitsune and the whole hog come out as XLFC does another one.
Like, what do you do to that? How do you beat that?
Well, Fletch, I believe the answer is you don't, but we'll see.
Well, overclock to, or rather sound barrier to answer overclock the other way around, and that is how you beat that. You just completely ignore XLFC, who has another pick. The cleanse does come out to keep Zexo 2K in the fight, but they're respecting XLFC so much that even with 3 players dead, they hesitated to go over to the objective. And XLFC has another. XLFC, oh my god, this man is a maniac! Well, how do you beat that? What is happening in this lobby right now is insanity! XLFC comes back from spawn. The opponent spawn, that is, finds another one. Dexter under pressure. There is absolutely nothing that they can do to stop the superstar Dragonblade pull. Gonna cut down Raven. XLFC survives that as Raven posthumously gets rid of this Genji. And now it is a 2 versus 2 on this objective. Ebullient goes down. Raz has to run away.
Oh my goodness, we're coming down to last fight territory here. Zexo needs to get up to this Kitsune Rush, but then YE Snowfall has so many ultimates available in their bank right now.
Well, here is the sound barrier from Solana, and hey, who is it but XLFC? Pulse Bomb connects to Dexter, helps to take down that tank, helps to take down Ebullient. Sturley under duress. They know where this Genji is at. Raz low. Has to get to the objective to get overtime started, but cannot get there. And what a game this was from YE Snowfall. They may get another touch here. They actually will not. Sturley and Ebullient could not get back there, but good God, they've got families. And Dexter noticing it too.
Yeah, I mean, crazy work. I guess that's what happens when you're able to have better internet connection. You know, it helps out significantly.
I mean, like I don't have words right now, right? Because like YE Snowfall as a group was playing very, very well that map. It's just hard to understate the impact that XLFC had on that map, right?
Yeah.
Actually, I think it's impossible to understate it. I don't think that there's anything that you can say about what XLFC did on that map that would, you know... XLFC started every single fight. Every single one. Even the fights where, you know, I called it out. Zodiacs were so nervous going into XLFC that they had killed 3 players and they did not walk to the point because they knew XLFC was behind them. It was this fight right here, actually. And, I mean, XLFC single-handedly comes back and kills 3 players to allow YE Snowfall to have a retake. That is ridiculous!
Yeah, yeah. And that's why people constantly say that Tracer has the highest skill ceiling of like any character in the game. It's moments like that we just saw on that last map. XLFC just absolutely dominant for that entire map, quite frankly, just winning the 1v1 every fight. It's really easy to win when you constantly have a 5v4, you know?
Yeah, and you know that's not to understate the strength of YE Snowfall as a roster.
Yeah.
But compared to what we saw out of, you know, XLFC, who was forced to play, I believe it was Reaper on map number 1 because of the Sojourn ban. Of course, only had the only highlight on Lijiang Tower for YE Snowfall as well, with that 3K Blossom. But I mean, this looks like a completely different team when everybody's allowed to play the characters that they want to play. But for now, we are going to cut it to a short break. When we come back, it will be Zodiac's map selection. They're going to have the Zarya back in their pocket. They're going to have first ban. We'll see how they answer to this absolute shellacking on Hollywood. We'll be right back with that. All right, welcome back, everybody. I mean, 2 maps that went very similar ways, just for different teams. YE Snowfall loses essentially 200 to like 25% on control on Lijiang Tower. And then comes back and, you know, pushes through on offense, right, on Hollywood, but then comes back on the defense, and they looked unstoppable. A lot of that coming off the back of just an absolutely insane performance by XLFC on the Tracer. I want to say was, if not had it, was very close to a flooded deadlift on that map. Just constant final blows every single fight for XLFC. So now, as we look forward in this series, Shadow, we do know where we're going, and it's going to be Saravasa. And unfortunately for YE Snowfall, there is no more Zarya to ban.
Yeah, this is the map I was thinking of specifically when I thought to myself, you know, it'd be nice to have the Zarya ban available to me here, but obviously that's not the case anymore. And the Zodiacs, knowing that the Zarya is no longer an option, well, I think that they could potentially save their composition by just, you know, not by just banning out a DPS. Just really any DPS. I don't think Tracer would be a bad shout here just due to what we saw on the last map.
No,
but
like, they've only banned DPS, which is interesting so far, but I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, it's like you go Tracer, you go Cass. I mentioned it before. Just get rid of another hit skin for Raven to play since you don't have the Sojourn available anymore. I think that's the main thing that you do here, though, because you want your Reaper to be available to you, so you can't let the Reaper get banned.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Tracer is just the way to go here, because if you allow XLFC to do what he did again, it's going to be tough. And it is the Tracer ban here for
sense.
the Zodiacs. So probably going to be looking toward that dirty bubble composition as you were talking about. Almost certainly. Now we move over to the side of YE Snowfall. Like, I really am not entirely certain where they go here. You know, the backlines have been pretty even in general, so I don't know where like they would go if they wanted to ban a support, but it feels like if they were going to ban a tank, both of the impactful tank bans have already been made. Like, so I think you have to go for a support.
You could go Ana. I wasn't gonna say Kiriko, but Kiriko's not a bad choice either. It makes me wonder if you're not gonna play Roadhog here, though. I'm guessing you're not gonna air towards the Roadhog. Otherwise, why get rid of the thing that helps Roadhog deal with antis? You know.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Ramatra. You know, Heavenly has flashed the Ramatra through earlier in the series. Not much, admittedly. The Ramatra was very short-lived on Lijiang Tower, but I guess we'll just have to see as we get ready to head in here to Saravasa. Things are going to be a little bit different here, of course. You know, no Tracer, so, you know, Sturley and XLFC going to have to go somewhere else. We did see Sturley on the Genji last map, so could go back over that direction.
I'm gonna guess that we're gonna see that Reaper and potentially like a Sojourn as well here. But then looking at the side of Snowfall, looks like they're gonna be airing more towards this Mauga-based composition, which is definitely fascinating. I would have expected the pure Zarya, but we are still in spawn, so yeah, maybe I'm just being trolled right now. But it's actually looking like we're seeing a Mauga versus a D.Va. So not even the Zarya, but the D.Va here.
Yeah, and Sturley is going to go back over to that Genji. So it'll be Sojourn Genji versus Freya Genji. Same backlines, different tanks. Of course, you already brought that up. Baptiste, Lucio here for these teams since no Kiriko is in play. I actually like that a little bit better for Heavenly, but Heavenly is having a little bit of a hard time staying healthy into that defense matrix. Sterling has to dash away, was very, very low here, and Raz not quite able to connect with these bolts, just a little bit wide on most of those shots. Cardiac Overdrive ready to go. We're going to see the stomp in from Heavenly. That Cardiac Overdrive still in play, getting that healing. Needs to find something here. Turns back towards the Diva. And it will be a, not so quick fight win here for YE Snowfall first on this point. Oh.
Well, Sterling says I'm gonna get my one before I get got. I'm at least taking somebody with me. And we're gonna see Zodiacs immediately go for the Malga mirror here, making it a little bit more even. And I do like Freya, but I just think the Sojourn's going to give you more consistent damage over time. So that's a big difference here.
Well, what's brutal is that there is a cage fight, but wow. A very, very aggressive amp matrix there from Zexo to put Heavenly down well before that cage fight can be put into effect. But YE Snowfall will just bail off that fight because they know that they've got a good shot if they just regroup.
I mean, that's a huge kill, mostly because now it allows, I was going to say it allows Ebullient to have sound barrier, but here we go.
Yeah, there goes that one, and that will be just a, that was one of the fights ever. Yeah, very, very quick there, and that will lock up this objective here for YE Snowfall.
Plus side, if you're the Zodiacs, you got sound barrier for the next fight. But that is a tough way to go down there. I mean, you had the exact ultimate you needed to try and survive that cage fight and potential blade combo, but it ended up not being needed there.
Oh, that's absolutely backbreaking. Zexo down. Ebullient has to throw down the sound barrier. Solana will throw down one of their own. Sterling with the Dragon Blade ready to go. Maybe going to look to pull it. Here is the Immortality Field. Will go down, so it will not be pulled here in this fight as YE Snowfall will take this first flip.
And again, a very dominant fashion from the side of YE Snowfall. We're going to see the Zodiacs swap over to that Reaper here. And I mean, with that, the question then becomes, how are we going to deal with Raven from any sort of range?
All right, well, here is a Raven, and that's how, I guess. Put up the only shield that they can, and the Amp Matrix, or that was just a perk, rather. Yeah, no, this is, that's not the way I would want to use cage fights. I don't know about you, Shadow.
I've thrown down quite a few of those in my time. It's happened exactly like that. I'm just so certain that there's people there, and then there just isn't. Yeah, it's a very unfortunate moment for Dexter, but it happens to the best of us. YE Snowfall gonna have a cage fight of their own, though. Let's see if Heavenly can potentially catch somebody.
Here is Amp Matrix. Gonna be looking for the cage fight. We're gonna see Dragon Blade pulled, and Sterling will be able to be good for one, but XLFC coming in, getting that trade, dropping down to the objective now. Zexo under pressure by the Genji this time. Looking toward the Malga. Overrun will not connect there. Raz over to the Reaper now. Dexter falls, and this may very well be the, well, it will be the flip, actually, it looks like, for the Zodiacs, as Ebullient has come in to help out. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. I'm stupid. I'm just a lolcow, I guess. I'm just an idiot.
Oh, it happens, Ebullient did try, though, and I'm kind of confused. Zodiac's still continuing to take this fight here. If you're the side of Snowfall, you really should probably get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a means to an end to try and get to this objective that is straightforward from the last one. And it will be a hard disengage here for YE Snowfall. So the Zodiac's more than likely going to be able to grab this first flip here on the Garden.
All right, so Dexter has a moment to potentially get a big-time cage off, as well as that Death Blossom going to be available from Raz. I would like to see that combo come through.
Don't use it as a shield against Overclock again.
That's the play. The big brain play.
Well, you know, at least this one got Dexter caught up. The sound barrier going to help out against Sterling, who is able to get away there. XLFC goes in, finds a couple, and those ultimates will be majorly impactful there for YE Snowfall as they stop him just before that half century.
Yeah, I mean, great ult usage from the side of Snowfall there, and just the cage fight just didn't catch enough people for the Blossom to be worth using for Raz right there. And then, you know, you have to deal with the cardiac overdrive as well. That's really the main thing you need to force out, is that cardiac overdrive. Once you do that, you're pretty free to get this Death Blossom off.
Well, here is the Ant Matrix from the side of Zexo, and it will help out in the midst of that cage fight. Raz, very low. Paradox, good for a couple of headshots on to that Reaper, and it will deny this push from the Zodiacs for just a little bit longer. Not that much longer.
Just a little longer, you know, just a wee bit. Paradox is going to drop this amplification matrix, though, right on the point.
Yeah, that is a good job there. Let the reinforcements come. Excuse me. Goodness, sorry, I had to sneeze. Oh, goodness, but Sterling comes in, kills 3, and just at the 99% mark. Oh, goodness, that was the worst time for a sneeze to have to come up.
And I guess Raz used Death Blossom somewhere in there, too. I didn't catch that. So that's kind of unfortunate if you're the Zodiacs, quite honestly, because you need another ultimate to win this next fight out with Raven having Overclock online.
Yeah, a Boolean needs to build up to this ultimate, and we're going to see the cage fight invested, Overclock ready to go. Dexter falls, sound barrier down from Ebullient, trying to take care of Raven, who will go down before being able to get that ultimate off. The objective touch does come through.
That was just a good play. That's what that was. That was a boop by Ebullient to keep them up in the air a little bit longer. That was actually a good play.
I don't even know if I agree with the idea of the sound barrier there at all.
That is a fair point. You know what? That's the thing we should be arguing right now. Whether you should even be using that sound barrier. That's a solid point.
Like whether or not it got canceled is, you know, kind of a different thing. But here we go. Immortality Field will not get to Dexter. Dexter will fall. Cage fight invested. Ebullient under duress, but playing a bit of ring around the rosy. Now XLFC going in, finding another. And XLFC turning a fight that they had no right turning again. Zexo2K comes in this time, and it will be the Death Blossom to take care of Heavenly. Raven and Solana are back, though. So now this fight continues to rage, and Raz letting them know area has been cleared. And yeah, Raven is in a bit of an unfortunate position. Gets the Immortality Field, stays alive, though.
Yeah, good job by Paradox and Raven there to stay alive. Paradox coming up on this Amp Matrix as well, though. Could be big time. Unless that happens, of course. Sterling with the dashes.
Yeah, I mean, that was just so much damage by the Genji. Everybody else cleaning up so well. And now the Zodiacs are starting to find their foothold on this map.
Yeah, the deflect into the double dash right there. That was a beautiful play coming through from Sterling. Now you got Amp Matrixes on both sides, and Sterling going to have this blade available again. They've been really good with them so far, so I think that's probably going to be the big ult.
Solana, of course, without that sound barrier. And oh my goodness, turning on Paradox, getting rid of the Baptiste there. Raven on the off angle, not good enough here though, as that will be the Zodiacs coming in. And we're going to the 5th objective here on Surabasa.
Man, I gotta shout out Zexo right now on this Baptiste, just doing an insanely good job of just laying in this damage, consistently getting these final blows for their team. And I mean, it's just been crazy work. Cage fights are going to be available for both sides here, so that's going to be the big ult exchange, but Ebullient having the sound barrier could be massive as well.
Okay, well, Raven decapitating Raz and XLFC taking care of Sturley there. This fight is one that is open for the Zodiacs to win. They have another few seconds before the objective unlocks, but they'll have the positioning.
They most certainly will. You could potentially stop this cap, but it looks like Zodiacs are going to just slow walk it to point, so Snowfall should be able to get this cap pretty freely, and XLFC getting Zexo is exactly what you did not want to see.
Yeah, you know, different character, same story. XLFC in the back line taking care of business. Death Blossom ready to go. Cage fight invested. Able to break down that cage fight, but not in time for this Reaper to, you know, have any impact to help. 37-40% will be all that this YE Snowfall roster will be able to get here before the point flips, as the cage fight did help, I mean, just get everything started.
It did. It was a nice play there from Dexter, just realizing if we get this one, we should be able to advance forward. YE Snowfall going to have every ultimate but that Amp Matrix available here, and out comes the cage fight.
Yeah, and there is the Death Blossom into the blender. Everybody goes. No final blows for the Reaper, but in the end, that really does not matter. Zexo 2K kind of accepting defeat in this engagement, as YE Snowfall able to take care of that with only a couple of ultimates.
Yeah, the cage fight Blossom, always an incredibly strong combo, and now you have sound barrier advantage too, and I think that's going to be the big one here for YE Snowfall, is can they just live long enough, because this could be last fight.
Yeah, this is where that sound barrier gets pulled out. Immortality Field invested, and this overclock is brutal. There is a Reaper in the backline. Raz goes in, goes down at 95% and counting for this YE Snowfall squad. There is an objective touch there from Sturley, but no deflect, no dash means nothing left for the Genji there. And that will be YE Snowfall coming in, denying the reverse sweep here on Surabasa to move to match point.
Great map from YE Snowfall. It just took the Zodiacs a little bit too long to get going there. They really looked just completely outmatched on those first 2 points. The remaining 3 were significantly closer, and I mean, you know, that may have been able to. They may have been able to win that map if they just, you know, got it going a little bit sooner. But that is a tough loss to take, especially on your own map pick if you're the Zodiacs. Yeah, we saw you be so dominant on map number 1, and now we're seeing, I think, more along the lines of what we expected to see from one of these games on this map of Surabasa. We get all 5 points, and it is pretty competitive throughout.
Yeah, it was such an interesting game too, because the first 2 maps were pretty heavily, or first 2 points rather, were pretty heavily in the favor of YE Snowfall. The next 2 maps were so heavily in the favor of the Zodiacs, and then the last one was pretty competitive. That was a really good shot. I guess I was wrong. That one was 100 to 99. So, yeah, just a very competitive map overall. The first one of this series, really, like you said, which is, you know, what we expected. Yeah. So now I'm looking forward. Now there's only a couple of more places that we can go with this series. We're looking at push. We're looking at control. Or rather, we're looking at escort.
Yep, push and escort. That's our 2 options here. I was saying this map number 1, but this is probably the time where if you're the Zodiacs, you pull out the watch point Gibraltar. Somebody's got to pull the Gibraltar at some point to just switch it up. Somebody has to do it. And you may as well do it now, you know, leave push to a map 5.
Well, just like what I'm thinking of here, right, is like we have not seen the Zodiacs want to err towards the side of dive at all. Right? The closest that we saw was on Hollywood when they were playing the Hazard composition.
Yep.
That didn't look great. It didn't look great. And YE Snowfall was playing Roadhog. Like,
that did happen.
they were on a dive map playing, you know, a hybrid dive brawl composition, and they got beat by Roadhog. I don't know if Watchpoint Gibraltar is the answer. In fact, I'm not really 100% sure what the answer is right now because, you know, it has seemed like since YE Snowfall has been allowed to play the characters that they want to play, right, they have looked like a different team compared to map number 1. And now XLFC is getting access to Tracer again, which he looked like a maniac on Hollywood. That was insane. And, you know, he didn't look bad on the Genji either, but this team is getting access to one of their biggest weapons again for the rest of the series for, you know, potentially these last 2 maps. So now you have to find a way to mitigate that Tracer, right? And if I'm YE Snowfall, do I just ban Cassidy? like, what are they going to do at this point? They've proven that Raven has such a strong sojourn over the Zodiacs. And, you know, at this point, it's going to be very, very tough as the YE Snowfall has found a lot of momentum. But you were right. I will give this to you. You were right about this. Watchpoint Gibraltar up for map number 4.
I mean, I just said it before. It's the only map you can pick where it's going to change up the dynamic entirely to how it's been so far, at the very least. And, you know, you can potentially force, like, a Winston-style dive, a Diva-style dive, if that's what you feel comfortable and strong on. You know, and if the Roadhog does come out on this map, I can't imagine it working nearly as well as it did on Hollywood because there's just way too much ground to cover. Unless you do something beyond silly and you get a Life Weaver to Life Grip a Roadhog up to the high ground. We can get very silly with Roadhog if that's what we're trying to do here for YE Snowfall.
I don't have like a good answer, right? Because Roadhog's not a character that you run on Hollywood either.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
It's like the Zodiacs are looking into this and like, are you genuinely considering banning the Roadhog? Like, you can't ban Tracer anymore. You can't ban Sojourn anymore.
Yep.
You know, all of the impact heroes are gone from, or at least the DPS role, I guess. But
this
now, like, do you ban Malga?
This might be a Freya Widowmaker ban, one of the two, just because I think, well, Kiriko. Okay. Kiriko's a solid choice as well. I was going to say Brig, but maybe the full dive isn't there.
I just always forget that in CGL and maybe more of these leagues, the teams can ban the same character as somebody else has already banned. So Kiriko wasn't even in my head as a potential ban. But yeah, that's fine. It makes sense. It's a good ban. That's like the only good ban that they could have made, I think.
Yeah, there isn't much available that you just absolutely want to get rid of. So it's tough. And after YE Snowfall, I think you... Honestly, I was going to say Winston or Diva, so that makes perfect sense. So you're pretty much left with having to play Diva or Hazard. That's like your two options if you're trying to play that full-on dive comp.
No,
I think it is. Maybe Ball.
I think it is worth noting that the only Diva we've seen this series is from the Zodiacs. You know, not super impactful when it was there. It was there for, you know, half a fight, and then we got the Malga Mirror on Suravasa. But, you know, this is going to be a weird one, right? Because neither of these teams have been particularly reliant on the dive. To be honest with you, Shadow, if I'm thinking that the Zodiacs are going to be playing dive, I don't see them going hard dive. I see them going back to their hazard, which, you know, is kind of a dive. It's not like the hard-nosed dive compositions that, you know, we've seen in the past with you know, the on a Brig, you know, but the Hazard is still a very, very strong option for, you know, semi-dive compositions. You want to get Sterling active with the Tracer, you know, go in with the Hazard and just try and live and help out the Hazard. It's the same idea, just a little bit like,
Yeah.
a little bit less vertical.
It absolutely is. I prefer the Diva pick here, but the Hazard is certainly not a bad choice by any means. But you also see here Heavenly has Diva as their tank picture.
They don't see it. Oh, they do see that, yeah. We have information that y'all don't have right now.
So there's a whole thing where it leads me to believe, Dexter has a Winston picture, Heavenly has a Diva picture. That could be relating to why we just saw that Winston ban. And here you are seeing the comps right now where we're seeing an Ana Lucio and an Ana Lifeweaver, and that's the defending team, so that's actually happening right now. That's a real thing we're seeing.
What's going on? Okay, it's on a break. That makes sense. XLFC on the Tracer, of course. No one else I'd rather have on that in this lobby right now. Heavenly on the high ground trying to deal with now a flurry of people. Antied up. Now going up onto the high ground. Not a whole lot of damage being put out into that spike block of the Hazard, but XLFC starts this map off with a big two-piece play. Sterling and XLFC going at it, and XLFC cleans it up. Absolute mechanical maniac, and that's just going to be the objective captured, I think.
Gross, disgusting nonsense coming out from XLFC once again. Zodiacs are going to get onto the Diva mirror. Like I said, I like the Diva a lot better here. That's just unfortunate.
Yeah,
you know, what are you going to do?
In the words of my good friend Spectreon, this Tracer gameplay is utter woke nonsense right now. Oh my goodness, just disgusting. XLFC helping out Heavenly here, who is now in a mirror. May get demeched here, pretty low. So is XLFC though. Both will be fine as XLFC bails back, but the picks just keep coming through, man. Recall's forced out. Raz just cannot get it done.
Just gross, hideous atrocities that are occurring right now.
And Solana gets hit straight by that Bola shot there. And Dexter unfortunately cannot get back into the mech. Goes it down, and yeah, I believe XLFC, I can smell him. I know he can smell the blood in the water. Trying to take care of Sterling. Raz finally getting a 1-up on their mirror. Nano boost on it to the Divas here. Or rather, Sterling got the nano boost there for the Zodiacs. Bob has been invested, helping to take it down. Sterling now being a nuisance to the Tracer and the Diva. And apparently the Ana, who is on high ground alone. Raz in the backline throws out the pulse bomb, will not connect with it. Dexter losing that mech will give up this objective, and XLFC with one more backhand for good measure.
I'm telling you, these melee finishes right now from XLFC are just disgusting. Just absolutely gross. Raz swapping over to that Widowmaker, just trying to get some one-shots potentially off, you know. Not necessarily a bad idea. If you can just catch somebody lacking, it can really turn the whole game for your team.
All right. Holding this angle. Connects with the floor. It's on to Heavenly. The body shot. Not quite able to find the heady just yet. We're going to see the dynamite up. Will not connect. Raz able to bail back into the staircase. Pulse bomb stuck. And there's just absolutely nothing Raz can do, just looking on in horror. And there is the rally invested there to try and take care of XLFC, who's just like, okay, fair enough. I'm just going to go kill your Tracer in our backline. Now turning their attention towards Zexo2K, has the recall, going to invest the recall here. Ebullient comes back out, no rally to speak of this time to stun up that Tracer. Widowmaker dead again. Raz harassed by this Tracer non-stop. Can't quite connect the melee there, just a little bit too far away, and just absolutely unstoppable on the attack, YE Snowfall.
I mean, you called it before when we were discussing the map pick in general. You said didn't look too well when the Zodiacs did try to play this dive composition. And that seems to be holding pretty true so far. A 4-minute time bank is absolutely absurd. And it was just like anytime anybody was being attacked in any direction, XLFC was peeling, getting the forward progress damage, getting the pulse bomb sticks right there, as we see, just literally doing whatever is possibly needed at pretty much all times.
I mean,
oh, look at that. What do you do with that? What am I doing when we've got 4 eliminations as a team? What am I doing?
I mean, that's just what's happening right now. Is they can't keep up. And it's just unfortunate, right? Because this team is so talented, but XLFC has just kind of had his way with them ever since getting that access to that tracer. I mean, it's just kind of insane. Like, and that, let's not discount Raven and Heavenly, who are also playing like maniacs on this map. You're not seeing Raven as much in the kill feed, just dealing an insane amount of damage as Raven and Heavenly clean up the final blows. But goodness, see if this Sigma composition of all things will find them any purchase here.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a Sigma on Gibraltar. That is
maybe this is why.
That is some crazy things that just happened right there.
Yeah,
Maybe this is why he says.
like what did we think? What did we think was gonna happen?
Doomfist, here we go. This is the answer to our questions. Might be the wrong answer, but it is an answer.
This isn't. I'm really not trying to downplay the skill that the Zodiacs have, but right now, YE Snowfall, as we try to find this point, there is an empowered punch ready for Dexter, who can't quite land it, unfortunately. But right now, YE Snowfall, they're just on another level with their gameplay.
They absolutely are. It's like they got upset and handed their big brothers the controllers after map 1 like that. This is just a completely different team from what we saw on map 1. Like you said, soon as Raven and XLFC got to play the heroes that they wanted to play, it's just kind of turned completely to the point that we are seeing now the Zodiacs playing the Roadhog, and also Ebullient is now playing Mercy.
Alright, well, now Ebullient under duress, able to slide back into spawn door, or rather Sexo. From where? From where? Okay, well, Dexter falls here, going to get that resurrection back into this fight. I'm gonna be honest with you, Shadow. I think it's looking like Snowfall has broken this team.
It looks like they broke them after Hollywood, potentially. Like, I don't know. They did pretty well on Saravasa, but this is tough. You got Heavenly standing perfectly still in front of you on this diva right now. This is a rough spot to be in if you're the Zodiacs, and I don't know what you can do right now. Dexter is emoting in the spawn on Roadhog, so here we are. Hey, let's give a golf clap. Just a little golf clap to the side.
I mean, there's really not much to say anymore. The Zodiacs are stuck in spawn.
Alright, Reinhardt, here we go. You know what? Get the Life Weaver, give your Reinhardt a pedal so you can get up to the high ground. Let's get crazy with it,
Alright. We're trying to play Clash. Okay. This game was so good.
And
this game was so good for so long.
And then Watchpoint Gibraltar happened.
The Watchpoint Gibraltar incident.
Yeah, right. What do they call it? The Gibraltar incident of '87.
1974. It happened in Watchpoint Gibraltar. So Digimon, Shadow.
I've really been enjoying that game. I gotta be honest with you. It's really solid. It reminds me more of the first Cyber Sleuth game as opposed to the second one, which wasn't very good.
No, it wasn't. No, I beat the game last night. Alright, well, they're getting some push on the point. Sterling's dead again. Hey, a Boolean gets to take care of Raven. A Boolean's dead. Okay. GG, everybody.
Oh. I mean, just perfectly predicting the blinks too. That's what's been so crazy about it more than anything, is that XLFC was predicting the blinks and exactly where they were going to go, like, every time. Like, not one time. I don't think XLFC lost a single Tracer duel from map 2 or 4.
No, there was one time Raz got him on this map. Or rather Sterling. I can't remember anymore. It was a year and a half ago. No, this first map that we're looking at right now, as we gotta look at our replays. This map was not close, right? This is where Zodiacs objectively looked their best. It's when they forced XLFC to play the Reaper because the Sojourn for Raven was banned, right? Just after this, Raven got access to, their best heroes, which, as you saw Paradox say in chat potentially just now, he basically only grinds Tracer and Genji, and that was pretty obvious, if I'm being honest with you. The Reaper was a little bit underwhelming for XLFC. Tracer and Genji were not. The Tracer and Genji were absolutely not underwhelming at all. And having XLFC on those comfortable characters allowed this team to breathe, and Heavenly played Roadhog, guys.
We had a successful Roadhog sighting here in 2025, people.
And won.
That was a game, and it wasn't dirt.
It wasn't dirt, right? Yeah. I don't know what else to say after that, right? Because they broke the Zodiacs. The Zodiacs had not lost a game up to this point, and they broke the Zodiacs. Like that. Like I do not envy any player that had to be in the call at the end of that game on the Zodiacs, just based on how they were typing in chat.
Yeah.
Just an unfortunate way to take your first loss of the season. Not what you love to see. But of course, there's still one more week left. They're gonna make the playoffs, right? They're 6-1, right? These teams are both 6-1. They're both gonna make the playoffs. I have nothing more to say about YE Snowfall that I haven't already said. What I have to say to the Zodiacs right now, though, you got to learn from this, right? There's a lot you did well, a lot you did poorly. But it's up to y'all to learn from it, right? Because after that first map, it was like y'all lost yourselves. And as we head into the playoffs, we've got one more get right week, get back week, and then it's on, and you don't have any more time to lose.
I mean, you're going to have to see this team again, so I think it would be incredibly beneficial to just look over this gameplay and see, like, what could we potentially have done, And a lot of it, like you said, it's like, well, what do you do with that? That's perfect tracking. That's perfect prediction on the side of XLS. They were like, what do you do there? And then that's where you have to just probably talk it over with a coach or somebody that can answer that question better than I can.
Yeah, and that's a hard answer to a question to answer, right? Because XLFC was definitely a mechanical maniac in this matchup. But yeah, I mean, I can see the potential that the Zodiacs have, right? They looked excellent on map number 1, and they, like we said so many times, we're 6-0 coming into this series. They had lost one map previous to this. They have the talent. They have the ability. Just got to take it and run, right? But for now, that will bring us to the end of this series, the end of this stream. We will be back tomorrow. Not quite sure if we've got an EU game lined up. If we do, it'll be around that 2-3 o'clock EST. And we'll be back with NA for sure tomorrow. So thank you all for watching, and we will see y'all again tomorrow as we get ready to gear up for the playoffs.